Hey folks, Devin Pennypacker here for the Windup Watch Shop, and today we are going to be diving into a strange new collection from the Bulova catalog pulled straight from its archive with the new Snorkel model. A watch that actually shares some of its DNA with the iconic oceanographer, or devil diver as you might know it. Now, when images first began to surface of this new Snorkel model, some were quick to claim similarities to a certain Swatch collaboration model of a similar vein and a similar price point. But with those comparisons and criticisms, are they valid, or is it simply people yelling on the internet without seeing these two pieces next to each other? Well, we're going to take a closer look at the four models in front of me, along with one of those watches from Swatch, to talk about the similarities and then where the differences really start to see if the new Snorkel model is the right one for you. But before we do actually get started here, I do just want to mention that the watches on this channel that we take closer looks at are models that are available in the Windup Watch Shop, where we have a selection of watches, accessory, everyday carry items, all curated by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. The Snorkel actually did just make its way into the Windup Watch Shop, so if at any point during this video you decide you want to learn a little bit more about it or you want to pick one up for yourself, just hit that link in the description down below and it'll take you straight over to the Windup Watch Shop, or you can pop into our new Brooklyn showroom to check it out for yourself here in person. But with all that out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump on into this video. Celebrating their 150-year-long history, Bulova has decided to dig into its archives a bit and look towards one of its most popular sport watch models, the original Snorkel, for inspiration. Housed in a familiar cushion case shape, the old Devil Diver got its name originally from that 666-foot water resistance printed just below the Snorkel namesake. Thanks in part to its solid construction, unique and bold design language, and quirkiness by way of acrylic hour markers and cheeky advertising, the Snorkel Devil Diver gained a cult-like following. We have since seen the Devil Diver reborn in packages back in 2018, iterated on with a GMT complication in 2023, and now playfully tweaked with new colors and new materials in this new combination. Leaning on the historically important model family to the brand, Bulova aims to create a new entry point into the watch collecting passion as well as into the brand Bulova itself. Now, the obvious starting point has to be the case. Measuring in at 41mm, the cushion case is crafted from what Bulova calls a new innovative hybrid ceramic. Now, at the time of recording, it's still not entirely clear what that hybrid ceramic means, though I think it's safe to assume that it's some sort of mix of ceramic and resin into a similar fashion like the bioceramics we've seen from Swatch. Similarly, the Snorkel can be had with brightly colored cases, adding a bit of vibrant fun to your wrist. From there, though, the differences start to become a bit more apparent. The cases offer a smooth appearance and feel that Bulova claims is highly scratch resistant, and in my testing have shown little to no signs of wear without any sort of color bleed, something that we can't say for the other model. Crafted in a familiar case shape, the Snorkel conforms to the wrist nicely, wearing smaller than the dimensions might suggest. Thanks in part to the compact lug-to-lug of 44.5mm, a thickness of 15mm with a good portion of that coming from the crystal, and of course the incredible lightweight body, it really does wear on the wrist without you noticing it. At 3, a steel push-pull crown operates time-telling and date-setting functions that gives you a sturdy feel compared to other watches in the category. Now, turning the watch over, it does reveal the steel screwed-on caseback, working to achieve this piece's 100 meters of water resistance while offering a bit more of a sturdy construction. Another fun thing to call out here is that each model is etched with an image of marine life paying homage to its oceanic roots. Flipping the watch back over and returning to the dial side, your eyes do catch that plastic bezel matching the color of the equipped strap. Now, the 60-click unidirectional bezel actually has decent action depending on which one you pick up, with some of these operating a little bit smoother than others, but does have a slight bit of backplay and has a bit of a gummy feeling rather than the traditional snap. Set just inside is an aluminum multicolored insert with dark contrast in color, extending from the triangle pip at 12, running down to the 15-minute mark before a lighter color takes over. Further inside, we round over the double curved mineral box crystal holding a view of the dial beneath. At its edges, we do have a bit of visual distortion, though the crystal does well to cut down on glare and offers a bit of vintage charm to the piece rather than being any sort of hindrance. Inside, the dial surface in either a white, blue, or brown features a wave pattern pressed into the lower half of its surface. At its perimeter, a contrasting printed track marks the minutes between the applied polished hour indices, each holding their own generous portion of applied lume. At 3, the indices cut short by a polished frame window, making way for that white date disc beneath. At its center, polished sharpened pencil hands with thin bases and central strips of lume application manage hours and minutes, while a contrasting second hand ticks over top. Dial text is kept to a relative minimum, with only the Bulova name being printed at 12 and the Snorkel name mark being printed at 6, leaving plenty of room for that dial color and texture to really shine through. Legibility overall is excellent and perhaps a bit better on the blue and brown models thanks to that deeper contrast, but the lume really shines bright on all of these in low light conditions and is a surprising high note on this model where its competitors tend to fall short. Indicative of the purpose of this watch, the Snorkel is powered by the Japanese quartz caliber Miyota 2115. This means that when the watch dies, the battery can easily be replaced without damaging the case thanks to that screw-down case back. Now this watch is actually regulated to keep excellent time at roughly plus or minus 15 seconds per month, while offering peace of mind if that case does get knocked around a bit. It is a no-nonsense, reliable movement perfect for the task at hand. Set between the 20mm lugs is the HNBR rubber Tropic style strap. A soft and very pliable rubber, this specific one offers better resistance to wear and temperatures rather than standard issue rubbers out there. Equipped with quick release spring bars, the strap tapers down slightly to a steel pin buckle, though you will have to travel quite a big distance as these straps are really long. Too often I criticize brands for having straps that are just too short for my large sized wrists, but as you can see looking at this one here, it even looks a little bit large on me. That being said though, if it is a bit too big for you, you can quickly just remove it thanks to those spring bars and throw on a nylon strap where this watch really shines. Let's take a quick look at some of the pros and some of the cons, and then I'll give you some of my final thoughts on this new snorkel. First of all, yes, we do have a composite case here that is retailing for $350, which has been called out by the vocal minority. However, after handling the snorkel next to its Swatch competitor, I can confirm that these pieces feel way nicer in hand, with a smoother finish and a bit of a heftier presence, partly in thanks to that steel case back. Yes, I'm sure some of you will have heard plastic bezel and immediately turn this video off. But like I mentioned before, it does actually have decent action and does not detract from the overall design, actually adding a little bit of color to the case itself. And finally, yeah, the strap. The strap is long, but overall it's a really nice strap. It's very comfortable, very pliable, and will fit a lot of medium to large size wrists out there. And for those of you with smaller wrists, again, easily pull it right off and put a new strap on. But with all of that aside, when you really compare it to other similar models out there, you have a fun, lightweight package that sits between the Moonswatch and the Scuba 50 Fathoms in terms of price, with a better feel in hand and the ability to be serviced if that movement should go wrong. You can swap out the battery, you can swap out the whole movement. It's not cased inside of there like the Moonswatch is. These pieces are not simply disposable fun to add to a larger collection, but I believe a legitimate watch that can serve as a fun pop of color inside of someone's larger collection, or even an entry point into the hobby for those of you who are kind of looking to test out the waters. I will happily eat a little bit of crow on this because I was one of the ones who scoffed at the initial press release, calling out the snorkel as being another Swatch competitor. But honestly, after wearing the snorkel for a couple days, I've really started to enjoy this piece and will most likely be picking one up for myself. But anyway, that is going to do it for me in this video, taking a closer look at the new snorkel collection from Bulova. Let me know down in that comment section what you thought of the watch. Are you interested in it? Are you looking to pick one up for yourself? Do you want to try one on? You should stop by the Windup Watch Fair. We are actually adding Dallas this year, so we have Dallas, Chicago, San Francisco, and New York. Bulova comes with us to all of those shows, and I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of snorkels on hand for you to try out for yourself. Pick one up, try it on, then make your judgments. If you're down in that comment section yelling about plastic, I'll be down there fighting you the entire time. But anyway, with all that out of the way, I know your time is valuable and I really do appreciate you spending some of it with me. So until the next one, peace.